Hi everyone, welcome to Feline Jungle. My name is Fiona, and in today's video we're going to talk about the drama queens in my plant collection. The plants that I'm talking about are really beautiful and they have striking patterns that can look like a peacock, patterns on a cat, and even a snake. But they're super picky. They're picky on the water, they're picky on the sunlight, and they're picky on the humidity level. And when they're not happy, they show you in the most dramatic way possible. The leaves will start curling up and crisp up like potato chips. The plants that I'm talking about are my Calatheas. In this video, I'm going to go over some of my favorite Calatheas and how to troubleshoot some common problems based on my experience with Calathea plant fails. Just a brief background, Calatheas are generally from South America where it's hot and humid, so that's the kind of environment it's used to. With that being said, they're very adaptive and they can tolerate not optimal humidity level indoor environments. The first sign that your Calathea is not happy is when it has brown edges. And a perfect example I have is my Calathea jungle cat, where this is beginning to get brown edges over here. And ultimately, if you don't do anything about it, it will crisp up like this leaf over here. That's telling you that you need more humidity. And tips to do that is to add like a water tray, or what I do is just have my humidifier on 24/7, especially in the winter. I have a video on 7 tips on how I increase humidity. If you're interested in that, I'll link it in the description below. Another common issue why you might get crispy leaves is because of the water quality. Calatheas like dechlorinated filtered water. So tap water is not enough for them sometimes. And what you can do is just leave the tap water out for overnight and dissipate the chlorine. Or what I do sometimes is give them rainwater and also fish tank water, and they seem to like that more, and that will solve the crispy leaf issue. All the plants here, I tend to just give them tap water and some rainwater mixed into it, and they seem to be doing fine. I did have a very dramatic one, the Calathea ornata, which is not here anymore. It's in plant heaven. And it was so picky on the water that it needed. It specifically needed Aquafina water, and when I ran out, it just died on me, so RIP on that one. But all these other ones I have here are fine, like the Makoyana, the jungle cat, the rattlesnake, and also the Stromati tricolor. They're all perfectly fine with tap water. Another common issue that people freak out about is when the leaves start to curl up. And a perfect example is my Calathea rattlesnake. So you can see here the leaves are curling up. This is just the plant's way of telling you that it's dehydrated and it's time to water your plant. The cool thing about Calatheas is that once you water it, you'll see that the leaves start to unfurl again, and that's how you know that your Calathea is happy. It's actually not a bad sign at all. I like that about Calatheas because it's telling you when to water it. Another cool thing about Calatheas is that they actually dance throughout the day. What I mean by that is that the leaves will actually go up and down according to the sunlight. A good example of how it looks like during the daytime is my Stromati tricolor, where all the leaves are spread out. This is how it gets the optimal surface area to catch all the sunlight. And a good example of how it looks like during the nighttime is my rattlesnake, where all the leaves are up. So it takes a lot of energy for plants especially to move their leaves. In order for plants to photosynthesize, one of the main elements is water. Since it's dehydrating right now, it's conserving all its energy by just keeping its leaves upwards. So Calatheas are also very sensitive to the light that they get. In nature, they grow on the ground where it's shaded by other tropical plants. So typically they like more low light conditions, but they also like bright light. So just think of people who like to go to the beach and they like to get covered up and they still have an umbrella. That's a Calathea. So this is an example of different lighting conditions on my Calathea. So this one, I had it in like a darker corner and it kind of lost all its variegation. It was too dark, so it just produced more green leaves to photosynthesize. Whereas when I put it over here on the lower shelf, it kind of gave me these more variegated new leaves, and that's how I know that I found like the sweet spot for this plant is the more variegation on the leaves. An example of a Calathea that had too much sun is my Calathea rattlesnake over here. So what happened is that when I first moved in the summer, I had this in my south-facing window on the ground, and it was just too much sunlight. And by the time I knew that I had sun damage, it already had these red spots on it, and that's kind of how you can tell I had sun damage, and all the leaves curled up and they died, and this is what I have left. Just to show you how dramatic and unpredictable these Calatheas can be, all of my other plants do really well on my grow light except for my rattlesnake Calathea. So this is another one that I have, and it just did not like the grow light at all. The leaves start curling up like this, you can see on the bottom. So I decided to put it out in my kitchen area where I have south-facing light, but I have it pulled back on the dining table behind other plants, and that's when it started becoming more happy again. Another very important element to Calatheas is the temperature. So just referring back to this very sad rattlesnake Calathea, what happened was that it had sun damage, and then winter came and it had like temperature drop damage. So the heat went out in my apartment, and it kind of affected this rattlesnake very traumatically, and all the leaves died off. But it didn't mean that it was dead, so I checked on the roots, and the roots were really healthy. So I decided to keep it throughout the winter. Now we're in spring, and it's actually showing me signs of life with this new leaf that is coming out. Even though they're dramatic, they also have a very strong root system that can bring them back to life, which is also very dramatic. Those were the lessons that I learned from all my Calathea plant fails. I would say I killed 3 Calatheas so far, which isn't that bad. They're definitely not beginner houseplants, even though they're commonly found in plant shops. If I were to recommend my favorite Calathea, it would have to be my Makoyana. It's just very easy to take care of. I give this girl like tap water and it just takes it, it's fine. And it's also very beautiful. It has this beautiful leaf pattern over here, and on the back it kind of mimics the same pattern but in a purple color, which is very nice. I also find that it has these rhizome water sacs that also keeps it from getting dehydrated very fast, so which is also why I like it so much. And the most I've ever had with this plant is just some like brown edges, which isn't that bad. It never really crisped up for me, so I highly recommend this Calathea to be your first. I do want to add more Calatheas into my collection once I understand them more. Right now I think I'm good with the ones that I have. I don't need more drama in my plant collection. If I were to get another Calathea, I really want the Calathea leopardina. I think I just saw it on Instagram. It just looks like the pattern on a leopard, so I really want that one. I also want to mention that Calatheas are pet friendly, so they're the perfect plant if you have cats and dogs. I also want to mention about the soil mix, since I got asked a lot on Instagram. I just use 2/3 of regular soil and then 1/3 perlite to mix into it to add that extra drainage. But generally Calatheas love the moisture, so I just have more of that regular soil. In theory, I think they'll do really good in leca and a self-watering pot. If you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments below and I can do a little experiment for you guys. This is my little Calathea collection. I don't have that many, but I hope you guys enjoyed the experience and my lessons learned from them. If you guys enjoyed this video, then 10-second challenge. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. See you guys next week, and bye!